Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's currently 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's time to get started. The warm-up. I can really linger on the intro too much. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, another day, another stream. Very happy with lesson 6 so far. We have a big demo today to do, the barrel demo. Lots of stuff happening in this one. In my opinion, for full context, I've just learned that I may not be able to graduate on time. I should be, by all logistics, and it is literally just because they won't add me to 2 classes. I'm taking 3 hours next semester. I need 9. And they won't add me to 2 classes, which is ridiculous. So I'm already in a bit of a negative headspace, but then there's this demo. This demo isn't bad per se. It's just it's lacking a lot of instruction. It does not give much inference as to why Uncomfortable did certain things as opposed to others. Some decisions I even slightly disagree with. For example, probably the biggest one that I'm trying to discern is why Uncomfortable did, how he went about doing the bulge of the barrel, because it starts at it's thicker in the center essentially. And he didn't really elaborate at all how to do that or why. I've decided I'm going to place an ellipse in the center if I can to capitalize on it. Because a vibe I'm seeing from lesson 6 is, accomplishing this thing by whatever means necessary. And sure, while there definitely is at times excess in terms of construction lines and such, I feel like adding an ellipse in the center would not be a bad idea, because it gives us a better idea of where to put that contour silhouette edge of the barrel. Other than that, the subtractive methods he used for the bottom box, the support of the barrel, confuses me a bit. Because he's using both additive and subtractive methods this construction. I guess less as construction. There wasn't much additive, but there was definitely subtractive. But the additive construction is very weird to me, because ideally we remain within the confines of our box, of our initial box, but here we're not only appending a box to the bottom of what will be the circular portion of the barrel, but then we're adding a little step onto that. It's weird. We'll talk about it once we get there, but I'm going to use basically my full toolkit for constructing this to the best of my ability, and to spark more of a conversation. Drawwalk channel. Sadly, the ellipse guides I do have will not be large enough to construct this, which is unfortunate. But, which means we do have to freehand, which I'm not looking forward to. Freehand ellipses with a ballpoint nonetheless. And I feel fine liners are a bit smoother. But I'm hoping that I take so much this stream, subdividing and constructing everything, that's a problem for tomorrow, because I don't want to deal with that problem today. This is also effectively the last chaotic week, especially considering I have 2 finals due, and my advisor needs to schedule me a class. 2 classes to graduate. I will be permanently angry if I cannot graduate on time because they refuse to add me to 2 classes. There's also a lot more to the situation that really upsets me. But I'm not going to rant. My goal actually for this stream is to try to separate myself from all of that nonsense, focus more on drawing than whatever else the world has thrown at me this week. Today, it's not even a week. The skill of switching gears without taking too much effort. Because, I follow from Toniko Pantoja, I believe that's the YouTuber's name, notion of switching gears. I don't fully agree with the creativity and labor gears. I feel like there's a bit more to that. Not that he's wrong, but I feel like there's more nuance to be, more things to be said there. It takes energy to switch contexts. And so I feel like there's a good amount of effort, or it's worthwhile, I guess I should say. It's worthwhile to be able to practice, whatever may be stressing us. And this goes beyond art, really, any skill or just in general as a person. No matter what's stressing us, to decontextualize / step away from whatever may be stressing us. And of course, in art, that's a very powerful thing, because even our own art and our process, whatever we're making, can stress us out. I've been there. It's especially like we talked last stream, having expectations about what you're going to draw, and then it's not matching your expectations, and then you're upset. Being able to recognize that and then separate that and continue drawing, man, that takes skill. Not letting our frustration consume us. Hence why we're playing some of the Hyper Light Drifter soundtrack. A bit calmer, a bit more melancholic. It is quite absurd, though. See, that's me. That's me trying to default back to complaining about that stuff. I need to step away. And it's tough because whenever you're in that state, it's like, well, what else can I think about? So I guess I'll try to think about thinking about other things. In that very process, I found what I wanted to talk about. It's another rant about ARGs / like the analog space. Analog horror has had some... You guys know me, I'm very picky. There's some I really don't like. And today, I've been on a Minecraft ARG binge, because there's one that I liked. I can't remember the name. It's the Don't Turn Left at the Crossroads one. That one I liked. It was a bit cliche with the laptop I found in a storage container. That's such a I get it. I don't know, just ground it more in reality, right? I downloaded this mod. That makes so much more sense to me. Sure, it's also cliche, but it makes sense. Even then, if a laptop's in a storage locker, you probably have to sign back into Mojang, Microsoft, whatever it is now. Mojang. And all of that to say is I watched one today where it was like a Minecraft ARG, and it started doing analog horror, and that pissed me off so much. So much. Because analog is supposed to be analog, not modern day. And yet 2011 we're having VHS tapes? What? I feel, and this could be incorrect, if you're going to operate within the medium of analog horror, then there has to be a reason for it to be analog. Or you should do something with that, in a way. It's kind of like I can't remember. There's one movie review I watched a while ago. And they were like, "Why make all the like the characters anthropomorphic animals if you're not going to do anything with it?" Like Zootopia does something with that, right? It's a medium of conveying a story, and comes with it. Like, oh well, animals. Like look at Beastars, look at Zootopia, right? Successful ones where it capitalizes off of like instincts or social roles or stuff like that. And typically does that to draw a parallel with the real world. Analog Horror, Local 58, it wanted to absorb you into that era of footage, and it melded nicely with the found footage, especially the like dash cam one. I can't remember the name of that one. But the my favorite Local 58 one is where it was the contingency protocol. Excellent, amazing, and contingency protocol only could have been done on VHS. It also upsets me when I see analog stuff with VHS and has like modern day clip art. Like, no, stop. And then also there's the huge issue of when it comes to analog stuff. I'm complaining at this point. I don't care. This is me coping. Uh, I'm finally saying it. I'm finally giving like a truest, deepest take about analog horror. Like the redacted is such a cop out. It had its height with SCP, but like I feel it feels uncreative for the main evil, the main bad guy, just to be entity redacted. Or like, how was this VHS acquired in the first place? Why is it here? Why is it being stored here? How did we get it? That's the thing that upset me so much about the Mandela catalog is like when I first watched it, I'm not sure if there's lore, but like are these clips together? Who got all these clips? Who's recording? Local 58 makes sense, right? It's recordings from an old news station. It doesn't have like red tape or government like this is top secret because then there's no question of how we got it. It's like, oh yeah, someone recorded it on their VCR. Gemini Home Entertainment. These are instructional videos of how to survive with these like horrible things. Or no, there's a bit of that interception in there, but I do feel like the lore kind of explains it. And you have things like Kane Pixel's Backrooms, which like you don't really have to question why you're watching the VHSs because it doesn't make you feel like you were seeing something that you shouldn't. Right? It just seems like it's a narrative device for explaining what this company is doing. Yeah, we'll call it there. So we're gonna call it there for the warm up. We have a lot to talk about for the barrel demo, so get ready. We're gonna do 2 minutes of ads. Same old, same old. Yeah, be right back, guys. Cool. We're back, everybody. So, yeah, like I said, we are starting a new demo today. This one comes with a lot. It's a lot to do, but we're going to figure it out. We are doing the barrel demo. So let's head over here. Oh, that was laggy. Don't know why. Everything good? My PC like stuttered for a second. Interesting. Okay, that was a lot. Actually, I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Cool, let's get started. So, yeah, barrel demo. This one, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the instructions. Once again, already in a bit of a headspace, so who knows if that's like, my true feelings or not. But yeah, so we start with a rectangular prism. Cube, box, not a cube. I'd say it gives like 2x3 vibes. 2x2x3. Yeah, maybe 4, because the reference image is highly foreshortened. Yeah, and getting close references or proportions is a big factor in this lesson. Or I'm not sure if that's a goal per se, but I think it's a big factor, right? Because sure, you can make boxes and put lines in them all day, but I feel like there's a bit of a finesse required for getting those slightly more accurate boxes and such. So we start with a box. We want relatively low foreshortening. And we have to keep in mind that we're going to be putting, especially on the vertical axis, because we're going to be putting a box underneath it, right? So we want to occupy this much space. Once again, I'm not going to really care too much about the shadow. I feel like that's way secondary compared to what we're trying to do here. As for what we are trying to do here, we're trying to make a box. And that also depends how closely we want to be aligned with the reference. Uncomfortable's demo, it is facing a lot more towards us than the reference. I'm not sure if there's a better option or not. I'm going to go more for the reference. To like why, apply Uncomfortable's techniques to the actual reference, right? I'm not trying to draw what Uncomfortable did. I'm trying to draw a barrel, right? I feel like those are different things that we should emphasize. So because of that, we're going to be having a box that's mostly turned to the left. This picture is very close to the barrel, so it's going to have some foreshortening that I don't want. Yeah, because like looking at the other side of the barrel, it's much smaller. And I wish I could get I could get a reference up for you guys here, right? There we go. Haven't used the reference box in a while. So much so that I forgot the bind for it. There we go. That's what we're drawing. So yeah, as you can see, right, the barrel, part of the barrel facing us, the left part, is much larger than the right part. That changes the game, because that means our plane is going to be pushed away from us. We still want to be rather square, or it should be square actually, because it's a circle, and we know at least that we want very low foreshortening on the height of it, because that makes it easier. Or we're going to be adding a box underneath, and it doesn't necessarily make it easier, but we're going to experience more dramatic foreshortening. Because if we go back to our 250 cylinders, when we talked about, we have our, like, I forgot what it's called, like our circle, our focal circle or something, and everything outside of that gets distorted. Generally, we'd consider it, what if it's outside 60 degrees or 75 degrees field of view? Then our cone of vision, everything beyond that gets highly foreshortened, or highly foreshortened to the point it looks distorted, right? It starts breaking rules, conventional rules that us humans are used to. So we also have to ration out how much space we're going to use. Because it actually seems rather disproportionate. Uncomfortable allotted a large portion of the box to the bottom. Or like made the box proportionally a lot larger than it actually is in the reference. I'm once again going to stick for the actual reference. In the actual reference, we can see a bit of the top, and I'm just going to assume, since we can't see the actual top of the barrel in this image, it would technically be a very close 2 point. Because if we had a bounding box, which this is a bounding box, right? Everything's going to be contained within this box that we're about to draw, for the barrel at least. It's going to, like, that part's going to hit the ceiling. So we're seeing the bottom of the ceiling, and we could also see the bottom, so it's going to be 2 point. Or not 2 point. I always make that mistake. The VP is going to be inside of the box. Is that 2 point then? I always get confused about this. No, it doesn't mean it. It's just, yeah, the VP is inside the box visually, not physically. Or it could be physically, who knows. But yeah, so we are, yeah, okay. I'll stick the proportions right. Okay, we'll kind of vibe this out. Once again, we do want to make a square. I'm gonna like. So yeah, we're gonna pretend we can see the top of the barrel. It's a lie we're gonna do. Right here. It's right here. It's right here. So we went low foreshortening, and we want this to be a square. These lines are going to be relatively equal. Just to say, hey, the foreshortening is going to be relatively equal between these two. That feels correct. We could ruler it. I don't really care that much, but now I'm rulering it, so I guess I care that much. And yeah, we're close, within 1/8 of an inch, so I'll take it. And then yeah, we go back here. In fact, I would rather make this portion taller and this portion than this, because this is kind of getting faded into the background. So we'll do something like this, and then the remainder, the bottom of it, will exist back here. I think, yeah. It seems messed up proportionally, but I think we'll be fine. So let's commit to this. If anything's too horrible, awful, we know the alternative option. And yeah, let's try to keep this perpendicular with the page. Remember, not super hard lines. Made that notably shorter, I think. Let's see, this is 3 1/4, this is 3. So never mind, not very notably shorter, but then we're going to go back here. Once again, I'm drawing very large, trying to do that as large as possible. Let's see, is that how long I want it? I'd rather it be a little bit shorter. Of course, we can control this. with foreshortening, but remember, I don't want that high of foreshortening. It does feel a bit long up there. It really does. Let's see, we're gonna have an ellipse probably like this. It's actually gonna be smaller. So that was a bit long. Uncomfy does foreshorten it a bit though. Oh wait, yeah, this is okay. So this is a bit too long. We're gonna give it another attempt and make this one shorter, or just I don't know. It doesn't feel square. This one needs to be longer comparatively to that. In my brain. And he just tilts, not necessarily highly foreshortened. He just tilts this part, that side of the box away. Oh, but we're trying to stick with a reference. I need to stop looking at that. I need to keep looking at the barrel he provides us. There we go. Zoom in on it. Okay. No more looking at Uncomfortable's box. That's distracting. That sounds weird. Okay. Start right here. Use the big ruler just to make sure we're orthogonal to the page just because I feel like it. Not really out of a requirement or anything. I just feel like it'll look better for somewhat orthogonal. Alrighty, I'm a bit happier with this. Because yeah, the last one was so long that I couldn't make it shorter, right? Unless we like, no, yeah, generally you can't make things shorter unless you make other things comparatively larger, but we already planned for this to have high foreshortening, so we couldn't do much. But yeah, now we're off to constructing the actual box. We're going to start with the square. That's what I like starting with. We know this line is longer than this one by fact. So that means this has to be foreshortened more than, or the VP is going to be closer to this end of the line than the VP is closer to this line, or this one's VP is closer to this line. Blah, blah, blah. We say it every time. And the rest is just kind of vibes. So that feels like this one feels like it's still too long. So what happens if this line feels too long? This actually feels quite good. But oh wow, look how highly. Yeah, so let's establish a basis to work with. We say we want very, very light foreshortening. So if we did this, it would be parallel. We assume that this line's orthogonal to the page. Maybe a little bit not, because I suck at this, but yeah, so this, and then if we intentionally aim it in a bit, very, very, very light foreshortening. We assume that this one needs to be like this, then we have to just work on placing a dot somewhere here, making it square. And so this one still feels too long, which means this needs to be elongated, this line, which can only happen by shifting that. So, or like moving this away, because currently we're looking at a convergence like this, which actually isn't that even that convergent. And we have to remember this happened last time. The less convergent we get due to human error, we could actually get like non-convergent, which is bad. We want to be convergent. So you can only, you can only tread that line so closely until you're like, oh, like if you draw a parallel line, given human error, you're likely to draw something that's not convergent. So this feels a bit better. I'm going to move this one in just a bit. Every bit that we move, though, it hurts. It's going to hurt our bottom box a little bit. If we do this, what is that going to look like? Is that still going to feel square? Oh, wow. In fact, that makes it feel completely like this one's too long. So we can kind of satisfy by going in the middle there, which I can't really gauge too well, but that feels quite square. Oh. To move up a little bit. That feels pretty good. Yeah, that feels good. Let's commit. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's close enough to square. It feels okay. So now we have the less daunting task of now setting up this VP. Doesn't need to be square, so it gets a little bit easier. My ruler may not be long enough to to guesstimate this VP. Yeah. Unless it's super close, which we all know not to be true. Yeah. Because even if I like put at the very bottom here and then angle it outwards. Oh, there we go. I like miss it by a tiny bit. So the ruler is just a tiny bit too short to line everything up, but we can still use it. In fact, we could. Oh, I just hit my scanner. Yikes. if we understand that, like, oh no, I bumped the page. It's so extra, but like something like this, yeah, like right here. I don't think that actually lines up. It'd be nice if it did. And hell, I mean, the error may be so like minimal that that might actually be okay. Dude, I bump it every time. I mean, yeah, that dot was initially pretty decent, so. Oh man, that's just gonna make estimating the VP that much harder, but who cares? It's what I wanted. I got what I asked for. But now we have to play the game of making establishing this VP. Double triple checking that we're on the right side of the ruler. And so yeah, we know that we have to land somewhere on this line. So I'm gonna set a guess right here. Why did I put a mark up there? That seems a bit too long. So let's play the how close will Kavel get. So that's where that VP currently is. It's a little bit too close, so we're gonna move further away with my finger representing where the VP is. I think that's a little bit better. Yo, what's up, monkey? How's it moving? That feels okay. Maybe a bit longer, just a tiny bit. New computer. Whoa, this quickly. Huge. How you liking it? Heck yeah. Did you end up building one yourself or getting a pre-built? Custom parts thrown together by a very good friend of yours. Huge. Nice, nice. Sounds like you got a good deal then. Man, this box is turning out to be so freaking near to isometric, it's concerning. But we move on. In fact, I kind of wish I made it bigger. Oh man. Keep shifting the page. Oh whoa, you went team green. Very interesting, but huge. Yeah, the Ryzen Ryzen just seems to be a good economical pick. Very good one. What was the decision behind the GPU? Ah, I gotcha. I mean, hell yeah, if you can get a NVIDIA card cheaper, then hell yeah. Let's see if my guesstimation is right. This is so extra, but oh my gosh, I'm crazy with it. Look at that. That was a bit off. Small margin of error. I guess we're about right here. Kind of disappointed with how small the box is. But then again, if I draw a bigger box, I'll have to do a bigger ellipse at the end. So maybe I don't want that. Maybe this is okay. Maybe I should just deal. Oh my gosh, was my guess that close? There's no way. Huh. I guess it was that close. Jeez. I mean, you draw several hundred boxes, maybe you get a little bit accurate here or there. Oh, yeah. Can't get much better than that. Let's do it. Here's me thinking I'd be faster with drawbox lessons just because I have a ruler, but now I'm just being even more nitpicky about it. Yo! What's up, bear? Can't believe you've hit that word twice. One more time and it gets added to the banned word list. I don't want to see that ever again. How's your day going so far? Ah, frick. Oh, what the hell? Was I high? Was I high and stupid? Was I? What the hell? Dude. Band. Doing pretty good. Great to hear. When are you beginning your art curriculum? Oh, jeez. That is not what I wanted. At all. And here I was so impressed by my ability to get this line right. Dude. Love it when my pen doesn't prime. It's not that noticeable. Still sucks though. And this just doesn't feel square. You draw 250 cylinders and I can't draw a square. Maybe I should do 250 squares. Ooh, I'm going to cheat. Ooh, guys, I'm going to cheat. Here, wait. This is going to be epic sauce. Never mind. I don't know a better way of doing this, so we're just going to kind of vibe it out. This is so extra. I feel like I'm doing too much. But it works, hey, it's working well. Thanks. Ah. Not sure if you're there for my question, Bear, but when do you think you're going to start your little art curriculum? That's what I mean. Sorry, I didn't mean like your little as in like it's nothing. No, sorry. Did not mean for it to sound like that. Imagine how demeaning. Your little art curriculum. Your little silly. No, my bad. Intending to start today. Gotcha. Teeny tiny little frickin' bingus ass art curriculum. You will rue the day. I've hope. Trust me, I've been ruined. I don't like that. I'm not going to say that again. In fact, here's my karma bear. I learned today that it's going to be a struggle to graduate. My advisors don't want to give me classes, but little do they know their job is to give me classes. So we're going to have a fun little conversation with them tomorrow. If I can manage. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, it's crazy. Isn't their job just supposed to get me to graduate? They should only be paid for the amount of students that they graduate, which could only end so well. Man, it's so stupid. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I sent a very, I kind of, I'm not regretting my email. I'm gonna stand by it. It was very salty though, expressing my discontent that they in fact lied to me. They said I could get a class, and then when today happened, they were like, "Oh nope, you can't. Sorry, my bad," and like hung up the phone. They didn't actually. I didn't actually call them, but that's what it felt like. But they did have the audacity to be like, "Oh, you could just pick something else." They basically like, "Hey, yeah, pick another semester." What? What? This is not square. Anyways, stuff happens. It's okay. Time to subdivide, subdivide, subdivide. Subdivide all over the place. Let's see. One over here. This will help us start with the bottom of the barrel is actually the box that we're going to be constructing is quite wide, so make sure to account for that. I am a bit disappointed at how small this turned out, though. I do wish it were less small. But as I've resolved myself with lesson 6, it's not worth all the redos. Come on, Cav. We're not in lesson 5 anymore. Even though like you shouldn't have been I shouldn't past me shouldn't have been doing redos in lesson 5 either. Uncomfortable had a little note in his video, which is use similar lines to gauge where the VP is. Now, unfortunately, the VP is quite far away. I don't think there's any like technique I can use to help me find the VP faster, but other than some really extra stuff. I'm just gonna kind of. I mean, it's so close. I know the errors will compound, but at a certain point, I just got to say, hey, I can only be so accurate here. Technically didn't need that line, now that I think about it. Maybe. We'll see. Center lines are always helpful, though. Could help me eventually. Who knows? Oof, these aren't converging well. Oh, jeez. It's already falling apart. I think Uncomfortable does a cross-section on the top. I don't see why I would need to do that, though. He just does a center line about the top. Ooh, I could see why, though. Actually, he only does it across like this, though. So I will do the same. Oh, those lines are very much accidentally parallel, like perfectly. They're collinear. It's amazing. It makes me very angry how non-cube this is. Oh no, I got some of the muck. Got it, nice. Okay, let's start with that box down here. It's quite small. Like it is long though, so we will get the center of the bottom here using the right edge that doesn't have the bump on it. Oh, that was slightly off. Why did I not do... Did I only do one line up here? Why? Why did I not do both? Very strange. Well, now we have a box that's subdivided to hell, which could only make our lives easier. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a fourth from here. On both sides, so this is just gonna only make it that much more confusing. Ugh. There's our fourth. We could have done mirroring to get this on the other side, actually. But I did not because I'm a goofy goober, so. Yeah, dang it, I should have saved the mirroring for this. Made things a lot less muddled down here. And in fact, no, it's a bit too late, so I'm not going to mirror it. I'm just going to do it from the actual VP. I decided to switch up the soundtrack. That still doesn't seem large enough. Whatever, we'll commit. So now we project this downwards. I may have to look at Uncomfortable's demo for how he did this. I think he just started with 2 lines, but I'd rather start with the full box. But let's barring what Uncomfortable did, let's reason this, right? We want to create a box underneath this with certain proportions. It's not that tall, deceptively, but I want to make sure that this doesn't actually converge with accidentally converge with this. So I think this deep would be okay. Yeah, I mean, we already have the top 3 lines of our box, so starting right here would make most sense. Cool. Let's see, I propose it is a bit thicker. We can go that low and I wouldn't be too upset. Okay, so now we have the difficult task of estimating. I mean, we're basically just making another box, so. Just, it does have constraints. But as per usual, we can guesstimate. Why'd I grab the smaller one? That was a pretty good guess. But not quite there. I think that's the best one. Let's commit to it. I think we'll call it once we have this bottom box finished, or if time runs out. Either or. We have yet another kind of unique accident here. This midline is like coincident. I don't know a good word for it. It passes through the same point as this midline, maybe a bit to the left or to the right. Yeah, to the left of it. And this point, it's parallel to that, right? So we can kind of copy it. So this move to the left a little bit. If it moves to the left, that means it's going to get more parallel, just a tiny bit to that. So that means we're probably just going to move a little bit to the left. Overall, that's pretty on it. I hate how my camera decides to not deal with this properly. Oh, these lines are like very close to being next to each other, but not quite so. Let's see, this is going to go up like that one, so let me guess right here-ish. Oh. Oh shoot, and we could have double checked our line because we have this, which is actually incorrect. Frick. Is it? Yeah. Feels way, yeah, it's feels like it's converging way too fast. So we're gonna cheat, meet in the middle. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have cheated that hard. There's no fixing it now, but ugh. Okay, oof, yeah, that back line's really off because I didn't check all my sources. So we're gonna call it here, and we're gonna talk about this. Yeah, 5 minutes, we're told. Because I don't really have much more I'd like to add to this. Yeah. This backline right here, I should have used the existing point up here because we know that's the top of the Vox. We actually had a huge advantage there. And just projecting it downward and move this to the right because I feel like this converged. Actually, it's quite parallel with this. So yeah, we just need to use existing lines. I'm comfortable put that in the video. And I really need to, you know, it's a sanity check. Now we are operating at very close margins here because I put everything like very close to infinity. It's very close to isometric. It's still converging, but it's close to isometric. Overall, good stuff though. Relatively simple so far, but once we put that cylinder in here next stream, it's going to get a lot more crazy. But yeah, so we're going to call it there, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Pretty typical stream schedule this week. We actually may take off tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to be bumpy, but other than that, wait. Oh yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. We may take off Wednesday. Sorry. Wow. Yeah, once again, thank you all very much for joining, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh shoot, specifically thank you Bear and Monkey for joining.